Appeal to the international community, holding Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed regime accountable for atrocities. A press release from Amhara Unity for Resistance. October 8, 2025. From September 22, 2025 through September 30, 2025, the Abiy Ahmed regime carried out a series of deliberate drone strikes against civilians in Northern Wollo, Amhara Region. 14 drone attacks have been documented during this period, all targeting civilians and vital infrastructure, including schools and clinics. On September 30, 2025, a drone strike on a clinic killed 4 patients and critically injured more than 10 others, among them clinic staff, a 6-year-old girl, and her parents. Among the victims was a mother, tragically killed while in the middle of giving birth. The drone attack also destroyed the clinic structure, leaving it unusable. Elsewhere in the region, schools have been targeted in similar drone attacks. These strikes, on health facilities and schools, make it clear that the regime's conduct was not military engagement, but the deliberate targeting of civilians. Such acts constitute war crimes and crimes against humanity under international law. The drone attacks in North Wollo are part of the regime's ongoing campaign of genocide against the Amhara people. These gross violations of international law are not limited to the Amhara region. Drone strikes have been deployed in the Oromia region, targeting the over 20 million Amharas that live there as well. In the Oromia region, attacks against Amharas by state and non-state actors have continued unabated since Abiy Ahmed came to power. Recently, these assaults have intensified, especially those carried out by organized death squads specifically formed by the regime to carry out extrajudicial killings. On February 23, 2024, Reuters published an in-depth investigative report on Kori Naginya, one of the death squads responsible for extrajudicial killings. Another group, the Gachana Sirna militia, allegedly established and overseen by the president of the Oromia region, Shimal's Abdisa, has been implicated in some of the most brutal attacks targeting the Amhara population in the Oromia region. In its September 26, 2025, 36-page annual report on the investment climate in Ethiopia, the U.S. Department of State indicates in both Amhara and Oromia, the government of Ethiopia has reportedly resorted to drone strikes, arbitrary detentions, and extrajudicial killings to regain control. The report further states that the political, media, and civic space continues to constrict, setting a troubling precedent before planned June 2026 federal elections. In other words, the report rightly highlights the absence of rules of law in the country and documents the litany of crimes committed by the regime. While the report is limited in scope, we, nevertheless, remain grateful to the Trump administration for addressing some of the key issues that have plunged Ethiopia into endless crises. Under Abiy Ahmed, millions of Amharas have been displaced, killed, exiled, imprisoned under harsh conditions, and subjected to torture. The absence of due process is very stark. Kidnappings committed by organized groups affiliated with the regime are widespread. Embassy travel warnings have become routine. A top U.S. administration official recently compared the lawlessness in Addis Ababa to that of Baghdad. According to the Genocide Convention, the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, which most nations have ratified, makes genocide not just a crime to punish, but one to prevent. This means nations have the obligation under international law to act when there is a serious risk of genocide, even beyond their own borders. In addition, the International Court of Justice (ICJ) has ruled that nations have a duty to take all measures available to them to prevent genocide once they are aware of a serious risk. Considering all the legal responsibility, we are appealing to the international community to stop abdicating its responsibility and live up to the moral imperative, never again. The ongoing genocide against the Amhara people perpetrated by the Abiy Ahmed regime needs your urgent and undivided attention. When one group is targeted for extermination, it threatens the very foundation of human dignity, peace and coexistence globally. Your policy of appeasement towards the regime so far is nothing short of normalizing genocide, the most horrific crime one can think of. Therefore, we are urging you to give the Amhara people the protection they deserve, and entitled according to international conventions that Ethiopia is signatory of. In 2005, the United Nations adopted the principle of the responsibility to protect, 2 RANSP, affirming that when a state is unwilling or unable to safeguard its people from genocide, crimes against humanity, ethnic cleansing or war crimes, the international community has both the authority and the obligation to act through diplomacy, sanctions, humanitarian aid, and if necessary, military intervention. For the last 7 years, the Amhara people have been victims of genocidal terror unleashed by the very regime that initially pledged to protect them. The regime of Abiy Ahmed has failed not only its citizens, but humanity itself. We are, once again, urging the international community to form an independent body immediately to investigate the regime for the ongoing genocide, crimes of war, and crimes against humanity targeting the Amhara people. The international community must live up to its pledge of R2P, take urgent and decisive action against the Abiy Ahmed regime, and give true meaning to the words never again.